Hello, my name is Ben. I'm a rescue cat. If you listen to the show, my owner Lee rescues cats. And now apparently he dresses them up. He's an asshole. He's the one who created this show along with his friend Andrew. Andrew's the one who knows about boxing. Do me a favor. Click the subscribe button and visit fightnetradio.com. And please tell Lee not to make any more of these stupid videos and to stop dressing me up.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Fight Net Radio. Lee Hanish, Andrew Labouche, bringing you the wonderful world of boxing. How are you today, Andrew?
Doing good. Yes, sir. We're doing Isadora's 15th birthday today. So,
is that pre-quinceañera?
I don't know.
That's
Not
funny.
doing nothing like that.
That's funny, though. Andrew and I talk about boxing on this show. What are you doing for the birthday? Now I'm intrigued. What are you doing for the birthday?
Just a little family. That's it.
Just a little family?
Yeah. Nothing too big.
What does little family mean in the world of
I don't
Andrew?
know. Just the people and Tracy.
10 people?
Just my family and Tracy. Yeah.
That's about 10 people, Andrew. That's hilarious. Little 10 people. If I had one person over to my house to watch a fight or come over for anything, I would call that a little party. If I had 10 people over, I'd call that a rager.
Oh, yeah. No, we got like 5 families probably coming. Yeah.
That's a little party.
Yes. That's only Tracy, I just said. And we have family moving today, so they couldn't show up, but they would be coming too.
Hilarious. Well, happy birthday to your daughter.
Yes.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Fight Net Radio.
Great years, right? It's the great years now.
Yeah. When does she start? When does she start fall guard?
I don't know.
You sure she hasn't started and she's just not telling you?
No, she just goes to practice still. I drop her off at practice, pick her up, but
winter guard has started down here.
We might have something next Saturday.
Yeah,
I think we do. I think we do have to travel. Okay,
I'm telling you straight up, bro. Time it out. You want to just show up, see it, get out. If you start to watch these things and try to understand them, you're gonna I can't even look. I love my daughter.
Giovanni kind of bars me from having any activity, and it's very hard with him. I show up, I see where Christina's gonna sit down, and then I'm basically in the back with Giovanni the whole time.
That's perfect.
Yeah,
that's perfect.
Yep.
Yes. For those of you who are wondering, Andrew and I both have teenage daughters. As you just heard, his daughter's turning 15. Mine is 14. She does not turn 15 until August. But they're both in color guard. Now you're up to date on our inside talk. But Lee, don't you talk to Andrew all week long? Yes, we do, actually. We talk a lot all week long. What's your point? We're sharing our lives with you. It's called building a story. Jesus. Andrew, I needed to start the show off by making this announcement right out of the gate. Andrew, how do you feel about his dad having cancer?
Oh, geez, will you stop? Were they sponsored by cancer last night? It was almost as if they had a little contest going how many times they could use the C word. Yeah, just terrible. I don't know. I hope Santa Cruz's PR people, they asked for that story. Let's go ahead and let that one. It doesn't have to go away, but seriously, last night was an overkill.
But Andrew, how do you feel? I know we're just back from the commercial break, Andrew, but how do you feel about his dad having cancer?
No, they wanted that tear. Santa Cruz got emotional one time about 3 years ago, and it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean anything today. But it's like they were hella searching for him to get emotional on the camera, asking him so many times. They asked him before the fight, after the fight, like you said, even when they came back from commercial break, after they had talked to him, one of the girls drops it one more time about, oh, he won tonight and his dad's winning too. And that's a great story. But sometimes PBC lets it get wrapped up a little too much into the fighters. I mean, know nothing more about Leo Santa Cruz than you did for the last, so many fights under the PBC, because this is the only story they push. I don't know. I just can't believe Santa Cruz wanted to answer that question that many times last night.
Andrew, we're joined on the phone line. We have two people on hold, as always. We have Oscar De La Hoya and Bob Arum on hold. Oscar, we'll start with Bob. We're going to talk to Bob a little bit more about his fight card coming up. But Bob, real quick, how do you feel about Leo Santa Cruz's dad having cancer?
Oh, my God.
Really? Who the fuck wrote that script? I mean, seriously, those bitches were looking at scripts all night, Andrew. Couldn't somebody go through and spell check or count how many times somebody's got to actually say the word fucking cancer on that telecast? Jesus, I watched it so closely and listened to him say the word cancer so many times. I think I got cancer. Fuck. I've had cancer for 25 years. Doesn't slow me down. I'm here to tell you, Andrew. Cancer cure, you want to know what the cancer cure is? I know. Do you want to know?
Yeah, go go ahead. Sorry, I thought you were going to say
that. Fucking joke. Jesus Christ.
Sorry, Bob. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Suckers and blow, of course, Andrew.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, there you go, Bob.
Fuck. Pay attention to the show, Andrew.
Well, I gotta watch what you say sometimes. I'm just waiting.
We're still at a PG level at this moment, Andrew. Believe it or
and
not.
We should stay there, because it's a terrible thing as dads battling. We get it. We all have, known someone that was affected by that. I lost a good friend just last week, Lee. So it's good family friend to it. So it's something that's in everybody's life. But it just seems like they were doing a little bit too much of it last night. I hope.
Joke I'm trying to set up with a downer moment.
I know, because I wanted you to stay PG with it. It is.
I got a PG one. If you want the PG one.
All right, what's your PG? What's your PG one, bro? Oh, what's up, Oscar?
Hey, how you doing, Andrew? It's good to see you, What were the ratings by saying the word cancer?
Oh, shit.
PG, bro. PG.
I hear you.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Fight Net Radio. Lehana Chandra Lavashay bringing you the wonderful world of boxing. Yeah, I should produce more other content for other topics in the world of fighting, but they're all flakes. Andrew shows up. That's how it works. We do more boxing.
You started this show pretty hard, huh? You went right for it.
Badly. For those of you watching the video, on the screen is our website, fightnetradio.com. For those of you not, and you're just listening to our regular broadcast channels, go to fightnetradio.com, click and watch our YouTube page. You can watch the full video of what Andrew and I look at while we record. We actually run some videos and photos. I've pretty much stacked up I'm going to say about an hour and a half, 2 hours today, Andrew. I'm feeling that pocket based on the stories I've pulled. Maybe it's faster. I don't know. Could be like the old days where I just tear through stories in 25 minutes. People don't know this. So when I used to do radio, I used to stack like 80 stories for a 1 hour show and would burn through them by the first break. Wouldn't talk about them. I just read them like I was doing like a news channel. It was never very good in those early days. Now, 3 stories, I can carry an hour. There's enough in 3 stories for an hour. But we have a lot to talk about today. Andrew is a writer, and as you can tell from the get-go, I'm the asshole of the show. And again, if you'd please go to fightnetradio.com, check out the page, jump on some links. We'd appreciate it. Andrew likes updates at this moment, Andrew. So if you look at the screen, and I've done this correctly, if you look, we are already officially ranked in the U.S. Worldwide, we are in the top 6 million. They only rank 20 million websites. In the U.S., we're 658 out of 384. Top 600,000 websites. Do you want me to put that into perspective for you, Andrew?
Yeah, what does that mean, Lee?
Okay. Here's Bill's site.
Oh,
you knew it was going to go down this way, right?
You're such a dick. No, I didn't.
Know, right? But it's a free commercial for pound for pound.
Oh, you're such an asshole.
Bill, who gets real seats and is considered, I'm using air quotes. We don't have live video on me. Air quotes. He's considered a real writer, right? He's Boxing Writers Association guy. If you look at his Alexa rankings, nobody goes to his website. He's actually moved up a little bit. I'll give him that. He's in the top 4 million, but he's still not ranked in the U.S. So he's number 1 in Egypt with a hook for an American website. And to put that into real perspective, Andrew, the site we're shooting at, the site we steal the most from, steal is the wrong word. We share the news from boxingscene.com.
Yeah, we help Boxing Scene out. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, we do. Okay, Boxing Scene, there's their numbers. Worldwide, they're top 22,000. U.S. ranked top 8,000. That's what we're shooting for here for Fight Net Radio, Andrew, for our website.
Right.
That's our goal.
They do good.
Yeah, well, it doesn't equate well to YouTube. I haven't made our video channel go viral yet. I can make a website do it. I can make content usually do it. Man, I cannot do it for videos. And it's really frustrating because I used to use video for my day job. I use videos a lot and I get okay views and they do okay traffic. For some reason, I am not working my magic on Fight Net Radio videos. So if you'd like to comment and tell me why you think Fight Net Radio videos or any of that sucks, you can send us an email, fightnetradio@gmail.com. Actually, I will even add a tab in the upper left-hand corner so you can email us. Again, all of our links and everything are there. Go to fightnetradio.com. Support the sponsors. I know there's commercials at the beginning. I know it starts to autoplay when you hit the website, blah, blah, blah. I don't do Patreon where we're charging you for bonus content. Andrew and I are doing extra episodes each week. I'll be adding additional fighting videos and things that I find around the web as well. So all you have to do is follow us on either Facebook or on our website, sign up, click get updates, that kind of thing. That's the end of the commercial. Let's get started with boxing entertainment, Andrew. We will start off with Joshua Greer, correct? Did I get his name right? Joshua Greer, yeah. Right? Joshua, a.k.a. Night Night, Mr. Pillow Greer, taking on fucking Pillow, dude.
Yeah, I know.
It was PG until I dropped the first F-bomb. Feel free to keep track, everyone.
That's going to get old fast.
Top rank boxing. It's already old. It's
right.
A rubber pillow because he used to bring a pillow from like the Holiday Inn. I'm sure that thing got dirty and ratty, so he had somebody make a rubber pillow that matches his outfits. Top rank on ESPN started Friday night off for our reviews of boxing. First fight of the evening was Joshua Greer, a.k.a. Night Night, taking on Giovanni Escaner. It was a bantamweight belt. And to be perfectly honest, it was Giovanni pushing a lot of the action early in the fight. And at the end of, I want to say, what round was that? For that very first knockdown, right? That
I think I was round 2.
I'm going to say this. That's not a bad knockdown. Okay, so it's towards the end of round 3, right? Right at the bell, Giovanni catches this bro. Right at the bell. The bell rings and boom, he hits him and he goes down. That's a knockdown. Sorry, I'm with the ref on this. That's not a bad knockdown at all. Do you have an issue with it?
No. He got dropped right there. He walked in.
Let's see if I can get the sound up so we can hear it right at the bell. Right there. That's clean. I got no issues with that. And Greer's pleading his case. Oh, poor Night Night got knocked down. Hope you don't lose on points. But sadly, that's not what happened, is it, Andrew? I don't get my dream at all. Greer actually turns the corner and goes to work and
beautiful shot.
Takes him down in the 8th round. I mean, takes him down hard. I mean, he beats the shit out of Giovanni. He works him for the rest of the fight. The fight turns. So Night Night goes to work with a epic body shot to Escaner from Philadelphia. To his credit, he does his best Oscar De La Hoya impression.
No. That was a great shot.
Impression? It was a good shot, but here's the problem. I don't like guys who think they're the best when they're just building their record. Does that make sense?
Well,
I get the confidence. You won the fight. I get it.
He's not over the top. The pillow's gonna get old. All right, the pillow thing's got to go away at some point. But he wasn't over the top though. Like the kid, I like the style. he gave the Esconder all the opportunity in the world to win that fight. He fought his fight, right? And the inside, they went back and forth. Actually, before the knockdown, it kind of seemed like Esconder was making his plan work. His plan started working. He started it seemed like he was breaking Greer down. But then that sneaky uppercut right to the solar plex, and it was over. And you seen the wind leave him. You seen the punch land. He looks and he just drops. It's a delayed reaction, but totally looked like he hit him right on the mark. Clean
he did,
shot.
And in slow motion, he did hit him on the mark. I mean, it's a legit win.
Yeah.
And that takes us to the main event of the evening, in my mind.
Oh, jeez.
Michaela Mayer.
This mismatch.
Versus Yareli Larios, daughter of the other Larios.
Oscar Larios.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
Who cares? When was Oscar Larios actually relevant, and why are we giving him time on the show? I'm feeling that we're having left guard talk again. Oh, we might have new people. That's an inside joke. I've been told to work on that. For those of you that are new that are listening to this point, I may occasionally make inside references. There are stories you will not see posted that you probably go, hey, that's important in boxing. You know what? No, it's really not. If you want to, go to Boxing Scene on either their website or Facebook and follow them. You get plenty of what I call left guard talk. Andrew and I are probably the most passionate boxing and football fans you will ever meet. If I were to ask Andrew to name all the Oakland Raiders left guards currently.
No, I couldn't write. No, don't say that currently shit.
Right. Okay. Right.
Because we're all practice squad ass team right now. No, I'm good with the Raiders.
Right. Right.
The Raiders. We need to get through this draft. We need some of those draft picks to really show up for us.
Again, my point. And yes, if I say the word Raider, it is a trigger word with Andrew to go off usually on a 15-minute rant. I'll just show you quickly before we get to Michaela. Hey, Andrew, how you guys doing getting ready for that draft with the old Oakland Raiders thing you got going there?
I know we're staying in Oakland.
There you go. See what I mean?
Did you hear about it? Hey.
No, Andrew, I didn't.
Yeah, well, rumor is they struck a deal. They're not going anywhere. I don't know. It was on the agenda Friday for Oakland, the panel in Oakland to say aye. You know, when they all go, does everyone like to say aye? And the whole crowd says aye, and then they just move on. One of those deals. So, yeah, for the Raiders who thought they played their last game there, no, they did not. They will be back for 19. And check this out, Lee. The option of 2020. Why the option, Lee? I thought that fucking stadium is being opened up in June of 2020. We're in February of 2019. Hey, Lee, here's a question for you. You're in Vegas a lot.
I am.
Why isn't there a roof on that dome yet?
I don't know.
Hey, are they just going to land one? Do they build that on the ground and then just put it on top? Because if they have to build that thing, man, they got like 15 months, right? How many months they got until they have to open up?
About that long, yeah.
Fucking A. They don't even have a roof on that place yet. It's fucking hilarious, man. So, yeah, the option of 2020 is sitting there in this. It's a new contract, I guess, that was written up between Oakland, Alameda, and the Raiders.
Hey, Andrew. How do you feel about Leo Santa Cruz's dad having cancer?
Oh, man. I know. I wonder how he feels. I would like to talk to Leo Santa Cruz off the record on that subject.
Right.
I want to know if that's
the question.
Exactly.
By the way, if you're wondering, for everybody listening, if you're wondering if that's going to become a recurring joke throughout the rest of the next, say, hour and 10 minutes of the show, you would be 100% correct. That's the only way to snap Andrew out of a rant on the Raiders. I got to bring him back. There's one other way to do it, and he hates it too.
Hey, Andrew.
Yes, Bob.
Did you see the blonde?
Yes, I did.
Hot, right? So I wrote the script for that. You know, I had him put in the part about her being in a rock band and getting the tattoos and just being trouble. She's a bad girl, Andrew. She's a very bad girl. I had to mention that multiple times times on the telecast. Fuck that cancer. Okay? Let's just go with a hot blonde chick who's living in LA, who's in a rock band. Okay, and she can box.
And she kicks ass.
She kicks ass, man. You want to bet on the whole Playboy spread here? Huh? You don't think I have that lined up? I'm trying to make a deal with Pornhub for a porno, quote unquote, slip video. She'll be a Kardashian by the time I'm done with her.
Oh my God.
Michaela Mayer is in the news, trending that hotter chicks can box. And by the way, for people wondering, that again is an inside joke. Yes, I don't think Clarissa Shields is attractive. Get it right. Michaela Mayer made her way back to the ring, and she fought a lesbian named Larios last night. It could have been one of the boys. Could have been one of the Larios boys for all I know of. That is not a flattering photo of Yesenia Larios. I can't run into Oscar Larios in a dark bar. Tell me you didn't think it when you saw Larios. You're like, oh, look at the butch bitch.
No, I did not think that at all.
Really?
Yeah, what I was thinking is, why would Larios have his daughter become a professional boxer? But oh well, what are you gonna do?
So he can get paid?
Yeah, yeah, I know, but that's a rough sport. You didn't think you'd want your little girl to be getting punched in the head like that for a professionally.
He made like $10,000, Andrew. That's
you
good
hope.
money.
You hope. You can't guarantee that.
I gotta believe she made at least 10 grand.
Mm.
You think Bob's cheaper than that? Do you want to ask
I mean,
Bob if cheaper than that?
Know, she already had multiple losses, right? She's
Andrew,
really
you already know my answer, right? You know what was on the table, right? Come on, you know. You know you just don't want to say. What was on the table? It wasn't money, Andrew.
I hear you.
Larios wins that fight. Where am I moving her?
The Oxnard.
Correct. To join the Russians out there. She's fighting for that green card, Andrew. Build a wall. Better business for me.
Oh, by the way, Michaela Mayer won. Lest anyone think otherwise, I'll give Larios credit for staying on her feet for 12 rounds, but it wasn't much of a fight. Here's the problem with women's boxing. The elite level of female boxing, and I watch a lot of it. Now I get asked this question a lot, Andrew. Lee, why do you watch so much women's boxing? Do you know the reason why I watch so much women's boxing, Andrew?
Why is that?
Nip slips.
It's never happened.
It's never happened. It does happen in MMA. It does not happen in boxing.
What the hell?
Okay, I'm just telling you the truth. Which takes us to our main event of the evening, Brand versus Shamalama Ding Dong. I'll give credit to
Sengurov. Sengurov. There you go. Sengurov.
Shamalama Ding Dong to all of you. It wasn't actually much of a fight, Andrew. In fact, it was fairly anticlimactic. We actually watched Rob Brandt come out.
Just look at that combo right there is ugly. I mean, if you really break down that replay, look, off his feet, hand down to his waist, bow and arrow right hand, totally exposed jaw.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. So
that whole highlight is fucking weak.
So in round one, he goes to work. He doesn't really care, for those of you wondering. Rob Brandt successfully made his first title defense. While I literally had to listen, sadly, and it made me sad, that Goosen and Lennox Lewis made Rob Brandt sound like the second coming of Christ. In the
no. This is Bradley and Ward that were.
Oh yeah, Bradley and Ward. Forgive me. That's why I had a problem with it. Yeah. By the way, and I said this during the week. Tell me if I'm not wrong about this. Timothy Bradley starting to look like a dolphin. You guys don't believe me? Put the photo side by side. Timothy Bradley looks like a dolphin. In fact, that'll probably be the photo for today's show. We made it to second round in this fight while Timothy Bradley explained to us how extraordinary Rob Brandt is. Shamalama Ding Dong here literally sucked. This wasn't a test for an efficient fight. But the first 2 rounds, Rob Brandt beat the shit out of him, and then for some reason sat back and decided to start boxing like a madman for 10 straight rounds, taking it into the championship rounds when we finally get to round 11, where he pummels Shamalama Ding Dong again and stops the fight. This fight should have never have made 11 rounds, Andrew. No way, no how. What they're leaving out on the Top Rank Facebook page, for those of you watching the video, they're not showing you rounds 3 through 10, where nobody could understand why this fight was it was sparring. It was sparring. It was awful, Andrew. I don't think this made Rob Brandt a threat at all. I thought Rob Brandt's wife was kind of hot. I mean, thanks for putting the camera on her several times. I was down. I liked her. She was cool.
He did something right.
I love it when they put the cameras on the wife and the kids, especially when they lose. But hey, whatever. I'm a jerk. What are your feelings on Rob Brandt?
It was a hard fight to watch in the beginning until you get used to just who Rob Brandt is. This is what he does. He's not pretty in there at all. That's why I kind of, Warden and Bradley started off the night fine. They said he has an athletic style. He's an athlete. And that's where they should have left it the whole night. When they started going off with, he can go with any of the top middleweights in the world, and he's, he's going to throw 1,200 punches every night, and that's how he's going to beat guys down. No, he's not. Look at how ugly this is, Lee.
Canelo knocks this kid out in a round.
I know. I think they all do, though. Look at like I said, his punches, they didn't come back to the right position. He had a bow and arrow like right hand. He crosses his feet. Every time he moves to the left or right, he was crossing his feet. That's one of the most basic techniques you're supposed to know in boxing. That's like the first 2 weeks. You got to learn how to move side to side. The kid doesn't even know how to do that, or the man, excuse me. He's not, this is not the future of anything. This guy's holding a title until one of the top elite fight him. If Top Rank has him right now, you see what's cool, what Brandt did. He fought that guy Murata. See, nobody knew who he was, Rob Brandt. No one knew. There was no video on him. There's no YouTubes. Right. So he got the win against Murata. All right, fine. Top Rank gives him his first title defense. In this fight right here, people got, 11 rounds to watch who Rob Brandt is. I'm sorry, he's exposed now. If they don't tighten up his flaws and by his next fight, because it's going to be a top 10 guy. His next fight, even if they start him at the bottom.
I think they're going to put him back with Murata, probably in Japan, which is a pretty good payday.
If you go to the middleweight division, the whole middleweight division's lit up. Like even the guy right number 10, David Lemieux, could fight Rob Brandt. Horn. There's your guy Jeff Horn over there in Australia who's already worked. They
talked about that as well, yes.
Yeah, they've already worked with Top Rank. That's a WBA title over there in Australia. Will do 50,000. Jeff Horn has to be interested in tonight on what he's seen yesterday. So what? The guy throws a lot of punches. There's way too many flaws behind the 1,200 punches that he threw. So Rob Brandt has an opportunity to make a lot of money, but he's got to tighten up his skills big time before he starts fighting the elite. I'm telling you, the way
sloppy. It was pretty sloppy. It looked very sloppy. Look at his feet.
Yeah, he's squared up. He's not even in the right stance when he's punching. But when he crosses his feet, a professional boxer is going to time that. Even if you can punch a David Lemieux type power, a Triple G type power.
Yeah, his technical aspects are completely flawed.
It's like, dude. And then when you just watched him circle, when he was just trying to circle, he constantly was crossing over. Someone's going to hit him on the gloves and drop him. When you get into that elite level, they know when you're off balance, how to drop you for that point. So he might throw 1,200 punches against David Lemieux. I promise you, David Lemieux is probably going to drop him 3 times because of balance issues and win the fight anyways on the cards.
Andrew, you're missing the point.
No, you've done great. No, Bob's done great. If he has a middleweight that he wants to step up,
That's right, Andrew. Who is the real winner from Friday night? Say it.
Who's this?
Who's the real winner from Friday night, Andrew?
Oh, you?
That's right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, you've done great with the kid. He's going to get a payday, but I don't agree with Andre Ward and Timothy.
But I'm going to get a payday.
Yeah, I don't agree with Timothy Bradley and Andre Ward at all. Friday night or Saturday. When did this happen? Friday, right? Yeah, it's Friday night.
Yeah, we watched this on Friday. This is what we did with our Friday, Andrew, because we have kids.
Yeah, I didn't agree with that.
We don't go out anymore and have fun. We stay home and watch Michaela Mayer.
The fight wouldn't go 6 rounds. He fights any of the top 3 in the division. Jacobs, G.
Oh, yeah. Well, to answer that question, shortly after that fight, a press release / article appeared on Boxing Scene. Once Bob had time to surmise his options, I think Bob would prefer him to go fight Murata in Japan. I think that pays really well. But they floated out. And by the way, I'm going to show you guys the anatomy of an article if you're watching the video. When you don't see any byline, that's what they call it. What's a byline, Andrew? That's who wrote it, correct? The byline, that would be who wrote it. This one doesn't seem to have a writer on it, Andrew. Does this feel like a press release almost to you?
That's probably what it is. Yes, sir.
Correct. And be very aware of that when you guys are on websites, when you start going around. The internet boxing community, much like the internet pro wrestling community or MMA community, you guys take things as gospel facts when they're actually written by the promoter. In this particular case, right?
Yeah.
Okay. In this particular case, I will tell you more than likely this was written by a guy named Evan Korn, who is the PR guy for Top Rank. How do I know? I get Evan's emails. Okay, that's, I talk to Bob on the phone, as you can tell. He's asleep right now, but I wake him up and get him on, and we bring you that quality entertainment. So they're floating. I'm not going to read the article because I already know it's going to be bullshit. So they say that they fought in front of a sold-out crowd of 2,225. I don't know where you find an arena that small, but let's break down 2,200 people. That means you just put all the people on the viewing side across. You put tables and VIPs on the other side, and then cameras on the far side. So you've probably cut this thing down to maybe a third or a quarter of its actual size. Maybe this thing was a 7,000 or 8,000 seat venue, Andrew, that they sort of cut down to make this happen in St. Paul.
It kind of looked like a ballroom setup to me.
Yeah.
Like the rows didn't go too far until you hit a wall. So it looked
I'm
like
not shitting on ballroom. Wait, let me make it clear. I'm not shitting on ballroom boxing. It's about the only thing I get approved to go see. No, I don't have any problems. Rob Brandt's the middleweight champion of the world. I don't want to break it to anybody. You're going from fighting in a ballroom to, I want to fight Canelo Alvarez. That's what they're floating.
Yeah.
I mean,
Alvarez is fighting in a 100,000 seat stadium.
Yeah. So of course they always give you the quotes. I want to fight Canelo. Shamalama Ding Dong was a great champion. Was a great fighter. I started a little sloppy. You finished a lot sloppy too, by the way. And there's the biggest problem with this kid, Rob Brandt. I mean, I don't want to shit on Eddie Mustafa Muhammad, but I'm going to shit on Eddie Eddie Mustafa Muhammad. Good God. The kid has a very messy style, Andrew. It's very difficult to watch him.
He has an athletic style. You didn't hear him say that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Which is just a nice way to say. Yeah, it's just that's the politically correct way to say the dude doesn't know what he's doing, man. So, I mean, everything Brandt does looks forced. It looks like a guy who just picked up the sport. It's not natural at all. No. The flaws that he had, like I said, Lee, these are things you're supposed to know in the first few weeks, months of training, right? You don't want to cross your feet. You don't, when you're going, you don't want to extend your arm or bring your arm down to your damn waist when you throw a jab. There were so many things that he was doing wrong. Yes, he has a WBA title, and I know why they're going for Canelo. The next 10 opponents above him, David Lemieux, Derevchenko, Andrade, Horn, Saunders, Charlo, Jacobs, Golovkin, Alvarez. This shit is not easy. What a era.
Oh, there's nobody on that list he can beat. Nobody.
Exactly.
So we're going to Japan.
Andrew, if you don't see my ass going to Japan, well, I wouldn't go. I'll send my double, right?
I believe he's going to Australia.
Whatever. I'm not going to Australia either, Andrew. I'm just telling you. I'm going to send this kid somewhere else and get a payday and keep the belt in the family.
Jeff Horn is family. He's your extended
Jeff Horn is
family.
very family.
Yes, sir.
Boy, did he trade up from the whole Manny Pacquiao thing. He distanced himself. So there you go. You guys are all caught up to date with Friday night, which takes us to PBC, Premier Boxing Champions. Hello. Welcome. I'm Kate Abdo with a deep voice. First of all, we've gone from some really interesting presentations on PBC, on Fox, to I don't understand what you're doing. Why Kate Abdo? Why Ray Boom Boom Mancini? And my biggest question about the telecast, Andrew, why Caleb Plant? When they first went to Caleb Plant to start this thing off, right? Just to start the evening, he actually stammered and stuttered and couldn't think of his own name.
The camera,
like he was high. Like he was literally like,
no,
are we on?
Yeah, cameras are on.
We're starting. Yeah, I'm Caleb. I fight.
I like my dad in the corner.
Yeah. Cool, dude. Pass the bong, right? And that's not if you didn't watch the PBC telecast, that's me not being a jerk. I mean, that's pretty much the reality of what went down the other night.
She literally asked them the same question twice. She went to a commercial with Ray.
Hello, this is Kate Abdo. I'm here again with Caleb Plant. How you doing, Caleb? Oh, we're on again, bro.
Yeah, she said, "How's it feel having your dad in the corner?" And then when they came back, she asked him the same fucking thing again.
Wait, and my favorite. Yeah, well, my dad trains me, and Ray just shit on that just a second ago by saying it's bad, but bro, I like it because my dad told me to say that. That's actually what happened. They came back from the break. Ray shit on it, right? Ray's like, oh, it's really hard to have your dad in the corner, blah, 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 blah. I'm in the footsteps of my dad, and I clearly have daddy issues. And then Kate Abdo, what do you think over there, Caleb? Bro, I like having my dad in the corner. I think it's cool. But, whatever Ray said, he's smarter than me. Whatever. The whole thing was just weird, Andrew.
They don't need him. Yeah, they're lucky they found a great duo in Guzan and Lennox. Even Lennox and Guzan were getting into it last night. Lennox Lewis would not give up on he's got to go in and out. He's got to go in and out. He kept saying that through the whole first fight, and I think that got on Guzan's nerves. But I'm very interested when them two are calling a fight because I believe I have respect in both of their knowledges for the sport. So I believe you're learning something when you really listen to how they're breaking down the fight. So the PBC they have a winning combo with them too. And the other three, they could just drop. They could drop a good portion of that telecast as commentators.
First fight of the evening was Sebastian Fundito. I would like that with chorizo, please. Sebastian Fondaro takes on Donnie Marshall. The most interesting fact about this
sound good. You want Fondaro's chorizo? What she said?
Fundito with chorizo.
Oh, with.
What is the white guy saying on that show?
I know. I was like, what did he say?
First of all, let's talk about Sebastian Fondaro and his 6'7" height. Dude, he's the death stick at welter.
He should be making like 200.
It's almost ridiculous for a welterweight.
He should be in the NBA at 6'7" with his frame. I don't understand why he's not blocking balls somewhere in the paint. He should be making like 100, 200 million every 5 years from the NBA.
Well, he only weighs 40 pounds. I mean,
that's fine. All you got to do is block balls. They ain't trying to rebound and block balls. That's all you're doing at 6'7". Come on, you got a little shot on the inside. Great. That gives you a little bit more money, but I don't know what the hell he's doing as a fucking junior middleweight, but he looks good.
He's got to be a pro wrestler or a basketball player with that height, but I don't know what else to do with him.
Basically, he looked good. He looked good. He takes way too many
welterweight division. He took on Marshall last night, and as you saw, if you're watching the video, for those of you who didn't watch it at all, in the third round of the first fight of the evening, he takes out Marshall pretty successfully.
Yeah.
And that's about all there is to that fight. I mean,
Guzin was saying before the fight though that the kid had that uppercut. He gets a lot of leverage because of his 6'7", and when he brings that, and that's the punch that actually took Marshall out. Marshall was doing good. I like the fight. They did a lot of inside fighting. Fendura, for whatever reason, was fighting on the inside, but he's comfortable there.
Height either. Again, this is the second fight where I've seen taller guys. Like, they bend down to the level. I don't understand that. If you're tall, stay up. Put your head back. Like,
jab right hand should be your number one thing.
Go watch the Klitschko tapes, for God's sakes.
Yep.
Keep that chin as far away, because he's got little tiny spindly legs. Like, if somebody hits this dude on the button, he's going to go down.
And he takes a lot of them right off the chin. That was the whole PBC night, I believe. In the next, there was a lot of fighters taking them right off the chin in this telecast, and this guy was one of them. 21 years old, his brain is fresh. There's another thing, I think, when he moves up in competition, especially him being a junior middleweight. You got fighters like Hurd and Charlo there. These guys are knockout artists. You can't take punches right on the chin like that.
I'm sure he will be fighting for the welterweight title within the next 5 minutes based on the math, which takes us to our co-main event. By the way, what is up with the whole, we've got Fernando Vargas like he's a famous boxer. I don't want to be a jerk because there are probably Fernando Vargas fans listening, but for those of you who forget the end of Fernando Vargas's career, wasn't it just basically littered with losses and steroids?
Yeah, they're talking a lot of shit. He made a career on his mouth. He badmouthed De La Hoya for a long time before he took that ass whooping.
Well, he fits right in with the PBC then, doesn't he, as the representative. Omar Figueroa Jr. takes on John Molina Jr. in the co-main event last night on Fox TV. All right. My humble opinion of this fight, if you did not watch it, by the way, it was a unanimous decision for Figueroa Jr. But that's not the way the fight looked. The fight looked to be extremely close, right? And I guess that's the deal PBC's got to deal with, because Goosen and Lennox Lewis are just going to say whatever they're going to say. Like, I don't think they care about. Here's the best part about.
You're right Lennox, about that. You're right. Yeah, Goosen's always been that guy.
Goosen and Lennox Lewis are the greatest announcers of all time. Whatever they're seeing is what's really happening in their head. There's not a producer in their earpiece going, talk more about Omar Figueroa, for God's sakes. Yeah. That's not happening to these guys. They will bicker with each other. Like, Lennox will say shit and Goosen will go, no, that's not what Johnny's doing in there. Johnny hits really, like, I can't believe the man love that actually happened and you talked about this. Joe Goosen blew John Molina Jr. during that fight. Like, I can't, he's fighting a great fight in there. I agree. You and I both agree through the fight that John Molina Jr. was in this fight for 10 rounds. Then, shockingly, we got the scorecards, to which we were explained that it was not only a unanimous decision, all three of the judges saw it pretty much as a wipeout for Figueroa Jr. Now, the reason that's shocking is because we had a 15-minute break at the end of the fight for them to put together the scorecards. And that's not an exaggeration.
Yeah, it seemed like those scorecards should have been pretty easy at, what was it, 99 to 91 all the way across or something like that?
In fact, Goosen started to talk about it so much that I think a producer finally got on the headset and said, tell him that Jimmy Lennon Jr. is the reason. He's like, oh, Jimmy's got the decision. We're just waiting. I don't know why we're waiting. They actually said that.
Yeah,
Trust me when I say that. That's
You're
not
right.
accurate. I guarantee that's a producer in the headset trying to vamp. This reeked of a fix, Andrew. Reeked of a fix. There is no way Omar Figueroa completely on one judge's scorecard every single round.
Somebody forgot to tell the camera crew or someone that the commercial break was over. That was what I was thinking, Lee. They went, they had just come back from a commercial, and it goes about another, I don't know, 5 minutes before they announced the fight. And maybe Jimmy Lennon just did not get the word that the commercial was over. Big slip up to whoever's on the floor running the floor. So, but it was.
And by
weird.
the way, here's the part I find interesting about the PBC. They're literally on their Facebook page, which you and I are looking at. They're showing Figueroa highlights. John Molina highlights, right? Both of their video clips are John Molina going to work. But Omar Figueroa won the fight. Let's do it again on their own personal site, right? Good left hook by Molina. And John Molina Jr. lands a big right hand to close out round 5. By the way, he closed out many of the rounds with big right hands. Like, he blasted the shit out of Omar Figueroa. Like, there was some major wood being thrown in this fight. And your winner by unanimous decision, winning every single scorecard, basically on 2 of the judges' scorecard, Omar Figueroa Jr. Andrew, help me out here.
Well, 29-0 Lee versus what was the other guy? 20.
Oh yeah, no. Omar is undefeated and he's
7
the money.
defeats. Yeah, he had 7
No,
defeats.
he's the money. He's the money, bro. No doubt.
I don't know for what. Omar Figueroa is a underachiever from where he was years ago. He's 29-0. Lee, he looks so old and slow. Let's remember, he went to war with John Molina. This does not help his resume at all. This fight going the distance. It was ugly. He looked out of his division again. I don't remember. And then
both fighters hadn't fought in a year and a half. They played up all the angles. I
loved how he was constantly defending himself with one hand. And he's getting lit up by Molina, and he would not pick up his other hand, his left hand, to block his chin. It was one of the worst displays of defense I think you could show. Just a real lazy performance. Yes, can you hit him with the bat? Of course, I guess he has a chin that allows him to fight this way. But the way his body looked, the way he was responding to punches, he's 29-0 because he fights once a year now against guys that are, relatively nobodies. I'm sure you go back and he has the last fight, I got to say, is the 5 knockdowns against to Guerrero, where we didn't even see. That was like the fight. Everyone was like, okay, Guerrero must have head issues. How the hell did he get dropped 5 times by this guy? The guy's on top of the world right there, has a knockout victory against a guy that doesn't get dominated like that. And they shelve him for over a year and a half. Like you said, what was it, 17 months? Some shit like that they put him on the shelf for?
Yeah, but that's a typical PBC undefeated fighter.
Really weird. Really weird. Then he comes back against Molina. So these are 2 guys that are, those are gatekeeper fighters, but those are no one that's going to be like, oh, yeah, I think Omar Figueroa and Keith Thurman need to throw down, or he should have the winner. I honestly believe he gets the winner of Garcia Spence, though. I really do. 29-0. He's 29 years old. He has 2 wins now against PBC fighters. I would not be surprised if Spence's next defense is against another blown-up lightweight, undefeated lightweight champion in Omar Figueroa.
Again, for those of you wondering, Omar Figueroa Jr. is your winner by unanimous decision in this compelling fight, which takes us to the main event of the evening. A completely non-compelling, non-exciting, ponderously long WBA featherweight world championship between Leo Santa Cruz, his dad's cancer, and Rafael Rivera. This fight was interesting only in the final 10 seconds of each round. I think this meme is actually hilarious because that's what it looked like at the end of it's like a chick slap fight at the end of each round. Like they didn't turn it up till the final 10 seconds of each round, which tells me that this fight could have been magical, where two dudes just stood in front of each other and went to war. That wasn't necessarily the case. In round one, you and I both believe that this could have been a really interesting fight, right? But that's only because the final 20 seconds or so of the first round had these dudes going to work and throwing a lot of punches. Ultimately, Leo Santa Cruz will win by unanimous decision. And the fight itself was rather dull. I mean, I'm just being honest about the whole thing.
It was a broken record. It started turning into a broken record.
Right.
Same thing every round.
2 minutes and 30 seconds of each round were borderline unbearable, about two guys just sitting on the outside and taking these wild bomb shots at each other, right? Nobody ever seemed to do anything. Santa Cruz was obviously more effective in his punching throughout those. And then for whatever reason, Rafael Rivera's plan was to wait for the final 30 seconds, a la Sugar Ray Leonard style.
I'll give you a good explanation.
Okay.
One guy trained for probably, 8 to 6 weeks. The other guy trained for 3 weeks. And that's what played out. So you're saying
the game plan was, I'm going to yell 30 seconds, and then you just go in there and go to work.
Well, if you only got 3 weeks to prepare for one of the best fighter in the division, yeah, you gotta stretch your fight plan out a little. I thought Rivera did great in the first 5 to 6 rounds, but then he gasses out, and it's not a surprise. He got told 3 weeks ago he was fighting Santa Cruz, who's been preparing for a fight in a regular timetable. So yes, you got to expect Santa Cruz was going to outlast him in the championship rounds. This all looked good. It didn't look pretty when they slowed it down. And Guzan and Lennox Lewis both said that after the fight. Even though it looked good in the last 10 seconds, those were some ugly punches being thrown by Rivera there. That right hand he's not even throwing that right hand properly. He's slapping.
I don't even know what that was. And this was the final 10 seconds of almost every round. We made it through.
That's almost staged. You could almost say that's a Hollywood fight. Sylvester Stallone can give you a scene like that. Look at that right hand. He's slapping. He's not got a fist at all going towards Santa Cruz. He's slapping him with his palm.
Well, and that ended our evening of PBC boxing. Another good weekend of boxing. What were your takeaways from this weekend's boxing, Andrew?
Well, for the PBC, none of their guys really did anything. ESPN.
Did you guys ever do anything?
No, it's it's sad. Whatever. I'm over it. They're the ones that said they want to be an entertainment company, not fighters.
Right. They're the WWE. They've got it right.
Yeah.
It's not about wrestling. It's about sports entertainment.
For ESPN, Rob Brent will move forward. If Bob Arum wants to build him slow, I think there's a few fights for him.
Build slow my ass, Andrew. Fast. Japan, Australia.
Another fight I was thinking they might set him up with is that Spike O'Sullivan. That guy has a name. He brings a good punch to see if Brent can take a punch from a guy who's been in the top 10. So they would have Lemieux.
Why would I risk my best white guy?
It's not yours, first off. But I'm just giving you fights that Rob Brent can take that can build his career if Bob was looking to build him. But if you want to throw him to the wolves, the fight doesn't go 6 rounds. The guy looked very sloppy last night. Way too many flaws to put him in with some of the best technical fighters on the planet. That's a mistake.
I don't even have the thing up. I'm just going into the voice. No, of course he's not going to do that. Wow, that was a slip moment. No megaphone in my hand, and I go right into the Bob voice. That takes us to news of the past week. Go to boxingscene.com or visit them on Facebook. That's where we pull our stories from. Boxing Scene's been around since 2003, and Keith Heidick and the boys do a tremendous job of updating that website. Let's get started, shall we, Andrew? We're still in the grasps of Teofimo Lopez from a couple of weeks ago, showing off that he has skills against nobodies, basically. But he's decided that he's going to up the ante now that he's an amazing fighter, Andrew. Teofimo Lopez decided to talk to the people at Boxing Scene. Jake Donovan, shout out. Teofimo Lopez has never been one to bite his tongue. The aspects of his game isn't going away anytime soon. In fact, even less of a chance of showing down as he advances from prospect to contender, which, by the way, he's still a prospect. So he did what he should do, I guess. I don't know if he's ready for the jump he's making. Max Kellerman of ESPN and ball-licking fame. If you're not familiar with Max's work, he used to do a cable access show and then made it to HBO, and now he's on public access called ESPN The Deuce doing a show again. On that show, he said, I don't see any of the guys as blue chip fighters. That's what Lopez said on his show, Max on Boxing. I'm amazed that Lopez is that crazy. He says, don't get me wrong, these guys have paved the way, but there's so many flaws these guys have. I don't understand this, Andrew. Okay, maybe you can help me out. I don't understand Teofimo Lopez and his record. Where in this very limited record, and by the way, great knockout win over Diego Magdaleno, I guess.
Yeah.
Everybody, right?
Yeah.
But where on this record do you see something that obviously I'm missing? Okay, that's why I've got the boxing rack up on the screen. What am I missing that makes Teofimo believe that he's an elite? And for those wondering, I don't really buy into the Vasily Lomachenko being the best pound for pound guy either, because as I review his record, there's nothing on there that makes me seem to want to believe that he is some unstoppable force of nature either.
There's not, but there's a lot of world champions, current and ex-world champions on his record. What you don't see though, oh, you just got off.
It's okay. I'll put it back up.
What you don't see is Lomachenko don't have a fighter young like Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez is an amateur Olympic background, so he was one of the best in the world going in the amateurs. He's 21 years old. We've seen he has the speed, he has the talent, the power. Maybe in his head when he watches Lomachenko go up against these older fighters. I mean, hell, he got dropped by Linares. So he obviously didn't look unstoppable in that night. He comes back to win, don't get me wrong, but he was still dropped, and there was times in that fight where Lomachenko did look like the 31 years of age was starting to catch up with them. The 300 fucking amateur fights or whatever he had is starting to catch up to him. So Lopez thinks he can get him at this point. It has nothing to do with opposition, just timing. Just he's 31, I'm 21. I believe I have the same skill set as him. I'm just faster. Everything's a little bit quicker for him. So they want to take the fight. Does it mean it'll work? Don't know. But there's no reason in him to not believe he can beat a 31-year-old Lomachenko who just off his, one of his last biggest fights was dropped.
Andrew, you a fan of Sugar Ray Leonard?
Yes.
Do you remember what he said the first time he retired before the Hagler fight?
What did he say? No, I didn't. I don't remember. What did he say?
This fight is never going to happen.
He said that a lot. Huh? He said that about Pryor, too.
I wonder where he got that line from. Andrew, I don't want to let you in on a big secret, but this fight's never going to happen. It's not a winner for me. Teofimo gets paid, I get paid. Vasily Lomachenko's flawed. That's why he doesn't fight Salcedo again. I mean, I'm just being honest.
I would agree.
The guy that'll fucking beat him, right? Dumb. I am making sure that I get paid out of these two guys. And then, just as I'm getting ready to retire Vasily out to the pasture, much like a Mayweather fight, I'll then make the fight and crown Teofimo.
I think if Teofimo Lopez was Mexican, Bob would have been interested in making this fight. I think he's more interested in
Oscar Jr. He's Oscar with a mouth.
I think he's more interested in Lomachenko Ramirez than he would be Lopez right now because Lopez is so young. But if Lopez was Mexican and had that following, was selling out arenas already at 21 years of age, like an Oscar De La Hoya at 21, then yeah, you got to remember Oscar was like 21 when he fought Chavez.
Yeah.
They didn't have really a resume to go up against that kind of caliber fighter. Look at how much faster he was in the ring than him that night. Once again, you go back to Lomachenko's records, he's fighting guys there that are already in their either on the backside of their prime or over the hill. Teofimo Lopez is not that guy. Matter of fact, he's probably the fastest he's gonna be right now at 21 years of age. His hands, he might believe he has faster hands than Lomachenko, which would make him want to take that fight. I don't want to see it. I would rather see Lomachenko either get the unification with Garcia, maybe fight Gervonta Davis, and then if he can't see any of those guys, just move up to 140. I think that'll be Lomachenko's last division, though. I don't see him being able to go anywhere else. But 140 with Bob Arum owning Progress, the WBC champ. Yeah, and then owning Ramirez, there's good potential fights there for those three to make good money.
There you go. And that takes care of Teofimo. Hopefully he'll go quiet and silent for a while. He does have
stay humble, right?
Stay humble, kid.
Yeah.
You ain't done shit yet in this business.
Bob needs to tell him that. Bob needs to take him out to dinner and tell him to relax, man. Fucking, you're gonna get yourself in deep waters.
Because we did have a PBC fight, they didn't fail to take the opportunity to start selling their pay-per-view at all. As we pointed out on this show, tickets are still moving rather slowly. They're not selling the whole stadium. So we started off the middle of the week, not with a press conference about the fight in LA. No, we started off the week with more Errol Spence, Mikey Garcia, just 4 weeks before the fight. This tells me they're worried about the fight. A lot. Okay, we're 4 weeks away from this fight, and they're doing additional press and pushing the pay-per-view on every single Fox card. When they brought up the upcoming fights on the screen on PBC on Fox, the first thing they had was a picture of Mikey and Errol Spence. By the way, they were evenly height in the photo. I got to get a copy of that photo that they used on the screen. I'm going to have to go back and watch it. But if you looked on the screen, they're the same height on their little graphic that they use for upcoming fights.
Very nice.
And by the way, I'll say it again. And this is even a good photo. I don't even know how they pulled this off. It's much worse. I'm going to say it again.
No, that's pretty bad, though. That's a pretty look
right
at the
here
shoulders.
where his eyes are at shoulder length. I mean, this is.
Yeah, Garcia looks even. He looks small in that picture too.
So they ran a press conference to try to sell the event again. They didn't put them close together this time. They kept them further apart. If you put them far enough apart, they'll be the same height, just like this photo. There you go. There's a good one. We'll just keep moving them backwards. This is brilliant photography right here, by the way. Go check out the photos at Boxing Scene. This is really smart photos. They tried to crop it and do all kinds of really cool shit, but they kept basically shooting angles. I guarantee this is the press photo they're going to run with, Andrew. It's perfect. It's literally perfect. They're eye to eye almost. I mean, well, at least eye to nose, not eye to shoulder, which is the reality. That's not a bad shot from that distance, but that's what it really looks like.
Yeah.
His eyes are right at shoulder level. When you put these guys next to each other, there is a shocking difference.
You're absolutely right. There's a reason why they have these guys so far
Look at
apart.
the distance on these photos that they shot at the press conference. They're ridiculous.
Yeah, they never do that. They never. They're stupid. They should have at least put someone in the middle, like, oh, these guys don't like each other,
like
kind
Lennox
of scenario.
Lewis or something, so they both look short, right? Oh, I know. Let's get Jesse Vargas. He's standing in a hole. Let's put him next to both of these guys.
And I'm gonna tell you, Spence has no excuse if this fight doesn't sell. You know, this whole PBC platform has been, if you fight for free, you're gonna become a household name. You're gonna be have a lot more star power than if you fight only on Showtime or HBO, which used to be in boxing. Lee, this man has the last 3 years been on Fox multiple times. I mean, he's the guy that got the 6 million views that one time after the NBA All-Star game. One of his fights had 6 million homes tune in. Why isn't this thing sold out? Why aren't people talking about this on the radio? Why isn't and down here in the Bay Area, there's no one talking about Spence versus Garcia? Because in reality, this is one of the best American fights that could have been made. Mikey Garcia is an undefeated Mexican-American, and Errol Spence is an undefeated African-American. That's an awesome fight. No one's talking about it. It seems like ticket sales aren't doing good out there in Dallas, Texas, where, hello, that's Spence's home.
Yeah, but no. Okay, so I blame that on PBC and a lack of really good planning and marketing. But I will say this. The only reason I know about these stories or how crazy it got during the week, I moved right past them. I didn't really see them come up much in my timeline. But my coach and friend from jiu-jitsu, right?
It's going to hurt American boxing.
He literally blew me up on text yesterday afternoon. He's like, what time is Mikey Garcia's fight? I'm like, what are you talking about? I said, that's not what's happening tonight. He goes, it's been all over the news for like the last couple of days and on all of the streams. I said, no, they just decided to start advertising this fight for whatever reason. But he is he teaches boxing and he teaches jiu-jitsu primarily, but based on his feed and his algorithms on social media, his social media blew up for the last 3 days with ads and stories about Mikey Garcia and Spence. I don't know why they didn't start this 2 months ago when they made the fight, right? But for whatever reason, they've decided to turn up the volume on it, which takes us to one of our favorite segments. Andrew, do you know what our favorite segment is? Let's go buy some tickets for the fight. For those of you that are watching this on the video, this is always 50-50. For those of you listening, you're not missing anything.
Well,
because
this is gonna hurt American boxing, because for a long time, Lee, all experts say, oh, boxing's too expensive. That's why people don't watch anymore. Oh, they don't watch anymore because you have to buy HBO and Showtime and ESPN. This guy has fought on Fox for 3 years now. 3 years, at least once a year, he's fought on free television. He's undefeated. He's the face of the PBC, right? Everybody in the boxing world knows him. So our little excuse on boxing's dying in America because they moved it to paid networks, that's going to be flawed if Spence on his first pay-per-view doesn't do good, and even in the seats are not selling out.
There's $8 tickets. How great is that?
No, just check.
Let's take an $8 ticket. Why do I need to pay more than $15, Andrew?
Check. Hit done. If they come up, well then shit.
Well, no, they're up. All these green dots are seats all over the stadium that you're seeing on the screen.
No,
right?
that's an $8.
But I want to see if I can. What's the cheapest seat I can buy? No $6 seats.
Okay.
Let's move it up to $15. I'll pay $15 to go to the fight and watch it on a screen there. Nope, we're not at 15.
Why doesn't it just give you the cheapest ones?
I'm gonna go to $50. I might be willing to spend $50. Oh yeah, it's $45 seats all day.
There you go.
Sort by price. Yeah, $45 is the lowest end of this fight right now. And I can sit in peace.
And we already said that's not a bad deal for this fight because you get the atmosphere.
It's a big screen. It is a big screen.
You get the big screen and you get the atmosphere of the, hopefully 50,000, 40,000 people that show up. Hopefully, Lee. Other people have fought in Texas, in the San Antonio, and packed in many people. So it's not like They haven't done it out here before. I hope they respond, and really we have no excuse for Spence. I gotta be, clear about this as well. He is the platform all of us have been saying for years needed to be, and then America would respond. Well, you know what? The PBC's face got the perfect opponent. He's an undefeated Mexican American that many fight fans know. This fight should do at least 1.2 million pay-per-view buys, Lee, at least.
It's not.
I hope it does, but if it doesn't, I think that's a fail on the PBC. That was your whole platform in a wrapped up in a ball right there. But Errol Spence is everything they said they needed to make this thing work. He's been on the free television for years now. He's young. He's undefeated. Everyone thinks he's the face, so they promote him as, oh yeah, he's the guy that can beat Mayweather. I mean, seriously. Let's see what happens on this fight.
There's a lot of seats, Andrew. There's a lot of seats. If I open it all the way up, I'll actually show you guys all the available seats. Anything that's clickable.
You can see, the red. Yeah.
They'll start filling in here in a second. All right. Come on, give it. Yeah. All these dots.
Holy smokes.
That's a lot of seats, bro. That's a lot of seats.
Yeah, look at the two. Even around the ring hasn't been sold.
Yeah, the lowest. This section in here, $150, almost viewable. But
I don't like that price though. That seems way too much for
50.
Yeah, that's way too much.
So then you're gonna sit on the stadium floor.
How greedy, on you have 100,000 seat arena and you're
$1,200. Yeah, sit up. Yeah, that's right. And the green ones are actually ticket price. Their cover price. All the other ones are basically resells. But look at all those seats.
Look at all those seats.
It's not going to look good. It's not going to look good. I don't know if there's any StubHub or discount codes, but it's asking me for the option of an access code, which means I guarantee this thing's
at least around the ring will be sold out.
Look at all these. Look at all these.
Well,
seats.
they're going to have all that black. They're going to have all that black.
This is the lower section, Andrew. That's the next section up, and they're trying to sell the section above that as well. They're going up to the 4s. They're going to block from the 5s up, right?
Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
They're trying to sell all the way into the 4s. Here's why. I suspect all these that have been sold were like $20 seats. Like I truly believe it's not going to look good unless they're giving away these. They're going to move people down, right? It's brutal, dude. That's brutal.
Definitely the records. You think they would have had better ticket sales with both guys' resumes in the boxing world. Mikey's a veteran. He's a champion, right? Undefeated. Errol is supposed to be the new face of the welterweight division. They sold out ringside, and I don't know how many of those are going to be PBC affiliates, but at least ringside.
No, I'm telling you, you can get 5 or 6. Like, here's front row. That's front row, $1,800.
$1,800. That's so stupid,
right?
It's not the fight. I don't think warrants $1,800 yet.
Well, if you talk to these guys, because they went on a media junket first. The most interesting person of the press releases that they put out, by the way, for those of you watching the video, look, no name. That means press release. Spence's trainers, skills, not size, will beat Mikey Garcia. Well, yeah, size is going to help too. They want to downplay it.
Basically, when you punch a guy and you're heavier than him and bigger, the damage is more. So that does have a little bit of an effect in the fight there, genius.
Derek James, the head trainer of the IBF welterweight champion, Errol Spence, believes size will make the fight, not size, but his quotes. This fight is about skill set, not size. Size will come into play a little bit, but we're going to show the skill sets that we have to beat this guy. That's what Errol's going to do. Mikey Garcia is a good technical style, but there's always a method to take down a great fighter. I think. Yeah, because he can't reach your fucking fighter's head, dude.
Hey,
it's gonna look like a stupid Rocky fight where he's like swinging in the air.
You know, when they're in training, he's like, look, I want you to break this motherfucker down and get him out of there. Has nothing to do about skill. Break his ass down and get him out of there. Let's go home. Fuck out of here. What is he going to do? Hold back his punches?
Yeah,
you
right.
know what?
He's going to launch that from up in a corner behind his head like a bow and arrow and drop it down on him like a rainstorm. He's only got to hit him once from that height. I mean,
everyone, or I won't say everyone. You're seeing a lot of predictions that go, look, eventually the size difference is going to play effect. The trainer looks stupid coming out and saying this when you have.
Well, he's downplaying it because it belittles his fighter.
He should have. It's not his fault.
Look, that's a PBC press release, right? They're trying to make this sound like a more competitive fight than it actually is. Let's go right now. Let's just, by the way, I'm going to skip this story and just go straight to OddsShark and see what the betting line is right now. I don't know how this thing can't be at least a 3 or a 5-1 favorite right now. But let's see what the betting line looks like. Shall we, Andrew? Sports.
More sports.
Boxing. Odds. And Errol Spence versus Miguel
Angel. -400.
Yeah. Minus exactly what I thought it should be. What is it in Vegas? Westgate. Yeah, minus 400 plus 300. He's a 4-1 motherfucking underdog in this fight. There's no betting on this fight. Okay? There's no betting. There's no betting on this fight. The only person who believes Mikey Garcia is going to win the fight is Mikey Garcia. Like, Mikey Garcia is the only one with that stupid grin of his. Oh, yeah. You know, I don't work for the PBC anymore. And, oh, by the way, I'm going to beat Errol Spence and be the greatest person in my weight class ever. Like, look at the Mikey Garcia rap when you look at his articles. But who's faster? Yeah, way to go, Mikey. Who's faster? So your plan is to be the jackrabbit in this fight. By the way, press release again, not from Mikey. They're going to take his quotes out of content. The key to my strength training was that we didn't want to lose my speed and explosiveness. I can see now that I'm back in sparring that I still have that speed while also gaining the muscle we had to. What does that mean, bro?
And what's dumb about that is Spence is not a slow fighter. So, I mean, speed.
Right.
Spence has speed,
if
too.
People see, I love these quotes. If people say Errol Spence is bigger, that's just obvious. Oh, yeah, okay. But who's faster? Well, I guess if you're going to run for 12 rounds, champ, I guess it's you, I guess. This has to be one of the toughest camps I ever had. Blah, 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 blah. There it is. Proof's in the pudding. Nobody's believing you, Mikey. Nobody's betting on you. Nowhere on the internet. No. In fact, Vegas even has it worse.
Yeah.
Minus 4. That's the win, right? Minus 425 plus 325. It's a 4-1 fight. That's obvious. It's obvious. Mikey's the only one who believes he can win this fight. And I'll say it again. If Mikey Garcia wins this fight, it will be an epic upset, and it will dramatically change Mikey Garcia's life. There will be a shift.
Yep.
Oh, it would be huge. It would literally be huge. He's a free agent. His next fight after this is nothing but playing AT&T Stadium. He will be the biggest fight. Like, this will eclipse Canelo. This is pretty big stuff as an undefeated fighter if he can pull this one off.
Especially with a fighter like Terrence Crawford sitting there, you know, ESPN, but top ranked, DAZN, they would all be looking to score with him being a free agent. It would shift the power in boxing.
And if I'm Mikey Garcia, I'm going to do exactly what he's doing. I'm going to get a hold of Jake Donovan over at Boxing Scene, and I'm going to say the exact same stuff. I'm looking to establish myself as the best of this generation and one of the best of all times. I'm 39-0, right? It's just matter of fact. I'm 39-0. When I beat Spence, it's just another day in the office. You know what? If he does it, Andrew, and he's talked all this shit prior to the fight because he's the only one who's obviously bet on himself for this fight. Nobody else is betting on him. He's right. He's that guy. He will be that guy. I'm not backing off the fact that I think that Errol Spence is going to knock him out. Clearly, the PBC is done with its relationship with Mikey Garcia. I think this is hilarious. But Mikey Garcia, I don't want to break this to you because I went to Box Rec. I highly recommend that for everybody if you're watching the video. What has he done on this that makes him believe he can pull this out of his ass, Andrew? Where is the, a guy that's literally 6 inches taller than him at basically the same skill level on this list? Where can I point at where I believe that
he's 39-0 and he's a 4-1 underdog? So
right, and I looked at his list. Maybe I missed it. Right? Maybe Sergey Lipschitz is 6 inches taller and at the same speed. You know what? He won that by unanimous decision, right? But that's not the case. Sergey Lipschitz was a padded record.
He's even lacking power. Yeah, he's lacking power in his last 3 fights.
Right. Right. He doesn't need to be in the weight class he's in. I get it. I get it. But there is nothing on here that makes me want to believe that he's something special.
Look at that. 13 and then 14 one fight, 16 one fight. Eesh. 17 he finally came back.
Yeah.
Wasted career.
It is. Unless he wins. If he wins, Andrew, I'll be the first one to eat crow. This is like the Deontay Wilder thing. The minute you win, champ, I'm with you. But you got to beat somebody in the top 10. You got to do it.
I wonder if he was to win, do you think Floyd comes back for Garcia?
If he doesn't, he's an idiot because that's an epic fight.
It's a perfect opponent, right? He's smaller than
by the
Floyd.
By the way, Floyd would just outbox the shit.
Well, we don't know that yet. Let's watch the fight with Spence.
But he still has a fight with Manny Pacquiao and all of his exhibition bouts.
Those guys those all bow down if Floyd comes back. If Floyd comes back, 40, would he be 40-0?
Yeah.
4-division champ. It's almost a perfect opponent. He's 31, so he's not in his prime. Floyd loves that.
Oh, well. Moving on. Let's move on to our next story. Of course, because Leo Santa Cruz needs a fight, obviously, Andrew. Leo wishes to fight either a trilogy with Frampton or a title unification. So, Andrew, by the way, again, look, this is a press release, everybody. So they're floating out ideas of what to do with Leo Santa Cruz and his dad's cancer for his next fight.
He's so stupid.
Santa Cruz, in quotes after the fight, I want to thank all the fans for coming out to support me tonight. You played one of the smallest venues in LA, dude. Whatever. I tried to do my best and do what I could to give them a great fight. I would have loved to have been even better, but he's a really tough and solid opponent. I hit him hard, blah, 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 blah. Talking about his next opponent, he said, oh my God, they brought it up in the article. Right here, Andrew. My father means the world to me. When I step into the ring, I say I don't want to let my dad down. I want to see him happy so he can keep fighting cancer. Fuck me. Let it go, people. A lot of people battling cancer. Just saying.
No, and it's not even that. But what if the dad doesn't want to talk about it? You know what I mean? Like, that's why I would love to talk to Santa Cruz off the record to see, if he said, no, my dad's trying to bring awareness as much as he can. Well, fuck, that's why they're doing it. But it just seems like they were shoving it down their throats last night. Almost every opportunity they could get.
From a marketing standpoint, it's a good story. I can tell you Mikey Garcia's story. I can tell you. Look, they're doing okay. They've hired somebody.
This has been for 3 years, though.
No, but let's be honest, Andrew. The PBC is an entertainment company, so they hire a guy like me, right, to come in and they go, "We need to tell a story about this fighter." Look, there's no story you can tell about Caleb Plant that would be interesting. That's why you get a content marketing guy like me to come in and go, "All right, here's the story, dude. I need you to rob a liquor store or to burn a hooker with a crack pipe. You have a family member with cancer. What do you got? Give me a story, kid." And
but it's been the same story for 3 years. That's my argument.
get that. That's his story.
You got to let it go at some point.
And Mikey Garcia's story is he's the best in the world. Good for him. And he believes it now. After the fight, Santa Cruz had this to say: "I want to be fight the best. I want to fight any of the champions at featherweight, or have a third fight with Carl Frampton. I want to be back this summer and fight 3 times this year against the best in the division." Do we really care about another Carl Peter Frampton fight again?
I just yawned, so I guess not. Listen, for the PBC, it's the best fight they can put on, so why not? These two have given 2 excellent fights already. They both have a win. Might as well do
you
a
really
tiebreaker.
care? Do you think the PBC really cares about unification bouts?
I told you I'm a little over the PBC until these guys fight out of their stable. That's why I don't, last night the Rivera fight.
Unification within the PBC. I'll be nice. You control all the belts. Make a unification bout. You got enough belts. I know you don't want to give up any of your champions because you think it sells, but I don't know. I don't know what the logic is over at the PBC. Here's the weird part to the PBC right now to me, Andrew. I get that they're just trying to entertain and get people watching boxing, and they put their champions up against nobody and they stretch out and they don't ever really fight anybody. But then you hire Lennox Lewis and Joe Goosen, who seem to not be a part of your broadcast team. Like they just wandered in off the street and you said, "Oh, look, there's Joe Goosen and Lennox Lewis. Let's have them call a fight," right? So those 2 guys sit down and they have no shame in their talking shit game. Like Lewis calls it the way he wants to see it. Joe Goosen's on the nuts of John Molina. And they don't give a fuck. Like if you fired them tomorrow, both of them would go, "We already have millions of dollars. Like you're not hurting us. You're just not."
I also think there's an issue of Santa Cruz is too small. I don't think he can move out of this division. His power has really never been good. So I think all you would have left is a Carl Frampton. He has Oscar Valdez in that, but that Oscar Valdez fights under Top Rank, and then he has Josh Warrington, and I believe Josh Warrington is with either Eddie or Frank Warren himself. But he's not a PBC guy, so I don't know where they would go with Santa Cruz without it being Carl Frampton again. We all know that's a good selling fight for both guys. I think the fight I would want to see is him and Valdez, to be honest with you. And that's what Santa Cruz is missing. He's a featherweight. He's really small. He's got Valdez. He's got Miguel Burchell. That's a few pounds heavier than him. Those are 2 Mexicans if they were to throw down. Even though to me, Burchell just seems like he's so much bigger than Santa Cruz, it'd be unfair. He really doesn't have that many named opponents left in the PBC stable that is going to be able to help him out. Gary Russell Jr. is there, but Gary Russell Jr. really hasn't blossomed into any household name. I don't see that fight being as good as a fight as if he was to leave the PBC stable, fight Valdez, fight Miguel Burchell, or even a Gervonta Davis. I think has more markability standpoint than a Gary Russell Jr.
There you go. Which brings us to our first amusing story of the day. Chris Eubank Sr. believes his son could replace Mayweather one day.
Oh, jeez. These guys are fucking idiots, too.
I could read the quotes, but
don't. They're just dumb. This is why he says this stupid shit. So we talk about his son who...
For those of you who think perhaps the Chris Eubank Jr., especially those in the UK, and we do have followers in the UK and people who listen to the show in the UK, back away from your typewriter, internet boxing community.
Oh, no, they hate him too, though. This guy is
fucking record, dude. It's a joke.
He lost to George Groves, bro. You're not Floyd. That's it. It's done.
Dude, he lost to Billy Joe Saunders. He's not even a crack pipe worth a fighter.
He can't even beat the best over there yet. He's supposed to be one of the best of all time. I'm sorry. I'll pass.
I knew you'd like that story, Andrew. Joseph Parker working on finalizing his fight with Derek Chisora. press release went out. Former world champion Joseph Parker is hoping to finalize his deal with the always, I love the keywords, always dangerous Derek Chisora. I don't know if I'd use
that
the word.
means he loses a lot.
Yeah, it's a great press release.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Parker had this to say: "It is our priority option. I said to David that I want to lock in something very soon, because if I lock it in tomorrow, it will give me 9 weeks of training. I need a minimum of 7 weeks in Vegas and 2 weeks in the UK, so it's very close to happening." Well, good for you, Joseph. Good for you.
Yeah, it's the perfect opponent for him.
Do you care about this fight at all?
Well, no, but it's the perfect opponent for Parker, right? He stays relevant, got a little name on it. With Dillian White just knocked out Chisora, probably should have ended his career, but Parker can pick up the leftovers, get hopefully a knockout victory, and stay somewhere in the ballpark of landing another title shot here. Decent record, international fighter. I think he's known on both sides of the pond now. So yeah, this is a decent opponent for Joseph Parker where he's at right now. It's a career saver for Chisora if he wins, right?
As we talked about on Tuesday/Wednesday show, Anthony Joshua and Jarrell Miller set their fight this past week ago, but tickets went on sale and they set a pre-sale record for Madison Square Garden. Of course, Joshua Miller at the Garden, this thing's going to sell out in 3.5 minutes when they actually release it to the public, Andrew. This is a good fight, good location. Jarrell Miller is he's got a Netflix special. It's a great and easy win for Anthony Joshua, and he gets to do it on the biggest stage at Madison Square Garden. So Eddie Hearn and DAZN are probably licking their lips and can't get to this fight quick enough.
Win-win. Joshua's a star. This is why they don't have to bow down to Deontay Wilder and Al Heyman with their stupid demands for purse split. I'm hearing that Anthony Joshua got a guaranteed of $32 million for this fight. You're not.
He's still in the top 10. So it makes you look okay. I mean, it all works out. Eddie Hearns is vocal about Anthony Joshua being the greatest heavyweight of all time, which kind of takes us to our next story before you reload, Andrew. They brought Lennox Lewis to the press conference.
But he just looks old and hurt nowadays. He needs to stop with the hating of Anthony Joshua. He looks like one of those legends that knows he's not about to be the man anymore, and he's just
if you're bringing really Lennox Lewis to a press okay, you invite him to the press conference, right? You bring him as this ambassador to the fight, and he's literally rolling his eyes at the promoter who paid to bring this dude here and talk about this fight. I mean, let's be perfectly honest. I'm with Lennox Lewis. Miller's not going to test Anthony Joshua. Okay. For those of you who think that this is somehow a real fight.
There was many guys on Lennox Lewis's resume that I didn't think he was going to test him either. Let's start with David fucking Tua. Let's start with fucking, it just left me. Oh, Grant. Remember when they were like, oh, Michael Grant, 7'1".
Michael U.S. Grant.
Yeah,
bringing it home to the U.S., Andrew. Get it right.
None of those guys were tests for anybody. Hell, didn't he even beat Tommy the Gun Morrison, if I'm not mistaken? Didn't Lennox?
Tommy the Duke.
Yeah, I don't think anyone was going, oh my God, this is a fucking major fight right here. Like, just relax, Lennox. Like, you had your time. You're gonna be one of the greatest. But I'm telling you right now, Lee, one of these two fighters are going to surpass him. Tyson Fury or Anthony Joshua is going to surpass Lennox Lewis, and I think it's killing him because for a long time, he was considered the greatest British UK fighter of all time.
There you go. And that updates you guys on Joshua Miller. Here's a shout out to the Showbox card that Andrew forced me to watch. And I'm going to
that's not even the right guy.
No, Thomas Ward. I didn't watch the main event. Fuck the main event. It was stupid.
That dude looks like he's on meth.
I was more interested in Thomas Ward. Oh yeah, he fought Jesse Hernandez in the opener on Showbox, and yes, that is his crazy photo. Everybody go see it. I don't know what weight this dude cut from, but this photo is unbelievable. Like it looks like he has an alien inside of him.
But crystal meth had a part of his cutting weight, I think.
He did win and sort of burst on the scene, but oh my God, this photo is the best, right?
Yeah.
I know. I don't even know what to say about it. That's just for the video crowd. That is crazy. It looks like an elephant. Look at that. That's the trunk.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's pretty cool. It does. Right. I see that.
And last but not least, quick update on Eubanks. Adonis Stevens continues to recover. He's been transferred to a new hospital, working on his recovery. So I thought I'd give an update. Andrew likes the God is good, get well soon, champ kind of
end on
feel warm and fuzzy at the end of the show moment.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. You happy that I ended there, Andrew?
Yeah.
I thought it was big of me. You know I hate that shit. I'm just not a fan. By the way, go to fightnetradio.com. You will find everything you need to stay in touch with all of us. All of our shows are posted and listed. There's, as I've said before, 242 hours now of content. You can have connection to our Facebook page, our YouTube page. I just added our Instagram link. Yes, we're back up on Instagram, and I'm doing the memes all the time. Please go watch our YouTube or Facebook page. Click the like and subscribe button. I would appreciate it. I will be introducing a new character exclusively for comedic purposes to the YouTube and Facebook videos. I don't want to give it away, but it is a talking cat, Andrew. It is a talking cat. I have managed to secure a talking cat. I knew that if I adopted and fostered enough cats, I would find a talking cat. There are people rolling their eyes at this moment. I have a talking cat for the videos. I got it, Andrew.
Very nice.
Go to fightnetradio.com, and you could see this week at the beginning of this show on video, a talking cat. The talking cat will get better. Trust me. I'm working on it. Which takes us to the boxing schedule. I'm trying to be a little careful about this because when I tried to open this earlier, it crashed my computer for whatever reason. I am not a big fan of Firefox. Okay, we did fine. Next week, well, my voice broke on that. For those of you who watch Telemundo, are you still watching fights on Telemundo, Andrew?
Yeah.
All right. Really? What do? You don't understand Spanish. How do you do that? Oh, well. Kissimmee, Florida. That would be near Walt Disney World, people. Telemundo has Yomar Alamo versus Manuel Mendez on that card, which takes us to Saturday night. Fox Sports 1 and Fox Deportes. Title fight, Anthony Durrell takes on Avani Shamalama Ding Dong, 12 round for the vacant WBC super middleweight title.
I think if you fight for a vacant title in the middleweight, super middleweight division, it's against the Durrell. It just seems to always be that way. So
how many Durrells are there, by the way?
Yeah, I don't know. On WBC seems to state they're all
How
over
did the
place.
PBC manage to get combinations like the Durrells and the Charlos? Like, how did that happen in boxing that there are multiples right around the same weight that kind of look the same? Like, the only other thing that I could compare that to are the football brothers, right? The cheater down in Tampa Bay who's the sports analyst. What's his name? The Barber twins, right?
Yeah. And then you got the two brothers on the Seahawks. They just got drafted.
There you go. There are a lot of Kelseys. There are a lot of Kelseys running around the NFL. And there's a lot of who's my starting end for the Chargers? There's a lot of Bosa's, right?
Yeah,
Bosa's
he's
are both
coming
coming
in. Yep,
there's a third one behind the second one. They're going to have 3 Bosa's in the league.
Manning brothers.
Manning.
Right,
well, you know what? Clearly, Eli's adopted. Come on.
Come on. Stupid.
Anyways,
weak fight. Anthony Durrell's always the vacant contender for the fight for the belt.
You're not going to let me shit any more on Eli Manning than that? All right, fine. Friday night, Anthony Durrell takes on Shamalama Ding Dong for the vacant WBC title. Also on that card, Jamal James takes on Hunter Gonzalez, which will probably just stall the evening out and be ponderously long. Which takes us over to ESPN Plus. Anthony Yarde takes on Travis Reeves in the light heavyweight division. Sam Bowen takes on Ryan Wheeler for Bowen's British Junior. So shout out to Paul Cuff. You're probably beside yourself for all that boxing entertainment on Saturday night. And then on Showtime, the PBC, James DeGale takes on Chris Eubanks Jr. in the super middleweight division. Joe Joyce takes on Bermain Stravine for the Commonwealth. I hate country title belts. They're just
that's the entertaining card of the night, though. I'll tell you that.
Omar Douglas. Joyce, that's not bad. I'd watch this triple header.
Yeah, that Joe Joyce is supposed to be real up and comer in the heavyweights, undefeated kid, power puncher. So that's a good little step up for him. Look at this piece of shit on DAZN.
I'm watching this, dude. On DAZN. Say it right. DAZN. Live from Tijuana, Mexico. Yeah. I gotta go to TJ. Dude, I'm going to TJ. I'm going to TJ. I gotta look at my schedule. I gotta believe that I have next Saturday off. If I'm down in San Diego watching my daughter, I'm going to TJ.
You're walking.
Brandon Rios takes on Humberto Soto at the dog track in TJ.
It's 10 or 12. They don't know yet. They don't know if. If the gambling calls for 12 rounds, then they'll go 12, Lee. But right now it's 10 or 12.
Go, Andrew. I know that the murder count is up, and it's likely that the border could be shut down at any minute. But I think I have to go.
Andrew, I'm going with him. You know why I'm going, right?
Sad night.
You know why I'm going?
Why?
I'm going over to the zone, Andrew, of course. You know about TJ, right?
Yes, sir.
Going for the donkey shows and hookers and the blow. Somebody needs to take over for El Chapo. What do you think about the Bob Chapo?
Found guilty this week.
I've been working with my marketing team and trying to come up with something. What do you think, Bob Chapo?
So stupid.
I could finally be really the Bob father once and for all. I'm taking over Mexico. I've decided.
That'll do it for all of you.
Brandon Rios versus Humberto Soto in 2019 in Tijuana.
TJ. Yeah. That's hardcore, dude. I don't like entering countries where people are wearing, military grade weapons. It's disturbing.
You don't feel safe. I heard you feel safe.
No, I don't have a problem. No. You know what? I personally never had a problem going to TJ in my entire life, and I'm about as white as it gets.
You don't feel safe with the SUVs doing 80 miles an hour on the residential streets?
Hire a taxi cab, hit the pharmacy, hit the hookers, have a little food, get back over the border.
I like
how nice combination.
They tell you not to go two blocks away from the resorts. That's always, comforting there.
That's the way it is in Cancun right now. I mean, a couple of those resort towns are completely out of control. But go to fightnetradio.com. Somebody just died again in another resort town because of drugs.
Oh, my gosh.
But I digress. Go to fightnetradio.com. Click on any one of these links. Get involved with all the content we create. If not, click on our Facebook link. Go to and follow us. Would really appreciate you.
You're a legend if you make it to that fight. You're a legend.
It's not about getting to the fight, Andrew. I mean, what are they going to charge me? Like 5 pesos to go see the fight? I mean, I'm not trying to be a dick. If I spend more than $5 to get in and see that fight, I will be shocked. I guarantee it's at Caliente. It's the biggest arena down there. I know this because I've covered MMA down there. Okay. I even know where to go bet on it, because that's where I used to go bet for football. You just walk over the border, place a bet, and get the hell out, right? I have a favorite place for tacos already. I also have a favorite place for breakfast. I am quite familiar with the ways of the TJ, Andrew.
Well, that's a good one to go to. That's the end of one of their careers at
It
night.
won't.
They might not even get home.
If everybody shows up, nobody cares. Go to fightnetradio.com, click on the links. We would really appreciate you subscribing to the YouTube page, or at the very least following us on Facebook and social media to keep up with everything. But no matter how you're listening to it, if you're not happy with the way you're listening or watch this, go to fightnetradio.com right now on your cell phone. Everybody's got one, unless you have a flip phone. And then I don't even know what to tell you if you have a flip phone, because I really don't know how you're a time traveler, obviously, from the 1980s having a fucking flip phone. But everybody else has a smartphone. Type in Fight Net Radio. Find a better way to listen to the show so that you're happy with it. You don't have to fight with it. If you're listening to this and it's 36 different parts, you're watching the wrong YouTube page. That's just one of the many streams that goes out there. Just go to fightnetradio.com. I've pushed it a million times. There will be exclusive things specifically for our video pages. Andrew, take us out.
I was waiting for you to do it, Lee. What do you want me to take us out on? There ain't nothing to take us out on with. What are we missing? Oh, you see T.I., he got at Mayweather. You forgot that one. Looks like T.I. and Mayweather are going to do a pay-per-view bout here. And the way Mayweather's been, you know, basically saying he's there to do exhibition fights now for big money, I wouldn't be surprised if he fights T.I. They should do it in a cage, too. Like, if Mayweather was smart, he'd go all for this. Fight him like a street fight, because I still think he whoops his ass, and make like $80, $100 million. Oh, the whole world would watch. The whole world would definitely watch T.I. and Floyd. Call it a cage match, but just call it, or put it in a cage, but call it a street fight. Don't call it an MMA thing. Just say street fight. The whole world would tune in. $80 guaranteed. $100 guaranteed per TV.